Frantic Nerdcast, hosted by AJ and Brock, talking about all the nerdy things that you want to hear about. Let's get into it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Frantic Nerdcast.
Welcome back indeed.
And welcome back to reality, Brock.
Oh, we are back on board. We have some live action coming at you.
You are here in person, and it is a glorious thing.
I mean, seeing me in person, I can only imagine it's great.
I mean, you're not going to break up. You're not going to glitch out on us.
No, I'm not going to go wandering off into the ether of the internet and start becoming a scrambled mess or sounding like Mr. Roboto. So, no, we're here, and yeah, it's good to be back in person, and yeah.
Now, the big news this week, there's pretty much only one thing we can really talk about.
Oh,
I
think there's a few things.
And that is Collecticon that happened in Newcastle.
I mean, the biggest thing to hit, I mean, it was
nothing
awesome.
Nothing else nerd-related happened, right?
It was awesome running into Kevin Feige and having a good chat with him about like the upcoming movies he's got and whatnot, where Marvel's direction's heading. Like, it was a really good chat. I'm glad he took his time to come to Newcastle. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't understand that we're joking, San Diego Comic-Con happened. It came, it went, and we learnt a lot. We got a lot of trailers on the internet.
I think we got a lot more than I actually thought we would, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to do any button pressing or anything on this one because it's kind of all mixed, mashed and intertwined in its incestuous nerdiness.
100%.
We'll start. We mentioned it already. Let's start off with our Newcastle Collecticon before we get into San Diego Comic Con.
Let's do that.
So for those of you who do not know, we had a little joke about it last episode. Newcastle, where we live, had a little Collecticon thing, which is pretty much just 170 stalls.
180 stalls came through, a whole bunch of pop culture type things. You had trading card games, you had comics, you had collectible toys, all sorts of different stalls littered around our local entertainment centre.
So my first thing is, if somehow the people that ran this thing listen to this, you need somewhere bigger.
100%.
Or a less lane, because they had multiple lanes, but you had one people standing on the stalls on this side, one people standing on the stalls on this side. There was barely enough room between them for people to walk both directions.
Yeah.
And then we both had prams.
Yep.
So that's like people were just ignorant fuckwits who would not get out of your way. So I decided to start shin bashing pricks with my fucking pram. But it also meant that you couldn't get to a stall to look at it.
Exactly.
So half of them I didn't even bother looking at.
Yeah, and that's what I found hard. I think it was, like, first and foremost, it was amazing to have Collecticon in Newcastle and just to go there.
And it was successful.
And it was very successful.
Yeah.
I mean, they released the tickets at different time frames across the morning. So the pre-release sold out. I think that was a 9 o'clock open.
9 o'clock, yep. And then
10 o'clock sold out. 12 o'clock when we got there, it was absolutely packed to the brim. It would have been interesting to see how many people were at the 9 and 10 o'clocks to see if it was the fact that because we went at 12, there was still so many lingering people from earlier.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting.
I did have that thought.
In either case, though, like, if you're going to cater to the fact that you're going to have an absolute metric fuck ton of people, you need to sort it out a little bit better. Yeah. And I think it was the first one in Newcastle, so a big learning experience for the organisers. I think they'll take everything on board. And look, they're coming back next year. They've already said straight off the bat, we are coming back across 2 days next year. So that could have an impact, whether it just means more people.
Well, I mean, next year, when they come back, let's put a cap on Pokemon. So if they have Pokemon and they're selling Pokemon cards, let's put a cap on that shit, because not everyone buys Pokemon cards.
I think the only issue you've got there is that it's fucking red hot at the moment.
I know. It's always red hot. It's always been red hot. But like, for someone who loves cards, loves buying cards, I just ignored every single one that sold Pokemon. They might have sold other stuff, but I ignored every single one of them.
I think the hard part, though, is that a lot of those stores that did sell Pokemon, they sold other things as well, and you couldn't really peruse some of the other things. So and also you found that each one of those stores, because it is red hot right now, you would just get people who were stopped, and they were stopped there for a really long time. And unfortunately, it affected some of the stalls around them as well, because you couldn't look at the stall across the way, because that then became the walking path for people to actually
Yeah.
get around. You couldn't actually stop and have a look at some of the other things. It was even sometimes hard to actually like be in a line of some kind so that you could go over to it, because people were coming from both directions. As soon as a space would open up, it wasn't whoever's next in line. It was, I'm going to run in and try and look because I've been waiting as well.
That's it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not just a common thing with this con for Pokemon cards and stuff, because one of my mates who lives over in New Zealand, Ian, he Right Time Gaming on YouTube. If you want to check him out, he's a good fella. He's massively into what's that fighting one? The Flesh and Blood.
Yep.
He's massively into Flesh and Blood, and like he used to be into Versus before it became like a LCG system.
Yep.
He's massively into it. He goes over and plays in the world tournaments and stuff like that over in Las Vegas and America and shit. And
Sure.
Really good dude. They had Auckland had one.
Okay.
The other day.
So
And
Collecticon as well?
Oh, I don't think it was.
Also,
It was an
sure.
actual card one.
Okay.
I think a card con. And he went. I saw he posted that he went to one of those, and he goes, "It was just fucking Pokemon cards.
All right.
That was it. It was just not worth going."
Yeah,
And
okay.
like for people, like what I want is people selling dead CCGs so you can buy old school booster boxes, old school packets, old school single cards, like collectibles.
Yeah.
Not just fucking Pokemon.
I think the collectible element of it wasn't so much for the cards and those types of things. It was definitely more so for the toys component
Yeah.
of it. Far more for that.
Yeah.
'Cause
Even then, there's still
some of them I had a look at were pretty
Yeah.
sweet, and the comics as
a
well.
lot of
They had
die-cast cars. Oh, those fucking
yeah.
those Venom
Oh my
ultimate
God.
alternate
I
covers.
had to walk away before I bought those.
They were graded.
so good.
They were these graded. I don't know what series it was.
It was graded 9.8 and 9.6.
Yeah.
I don't know what the series was.
But it was
ever,
these
but-
beautiful two-piece Venom and Carnage covers, and like one had Venom, one was Carnage. Beautiful white backs on them. Well, I'll have to try and find out what
Yeah,
they were.
100%.
But they were gorgeous art covers, and yeah, like in their nice fucking like graded cases and stuff, looked fantastic.
Yeah, I nearly bought those.
But I
was
did
so
end up buying some 1994 and 1995 full sets of Wildstorm trading cards. So not collectible cards, trading cards. Because I've got, from back when I actually was young and bought them when they came out, I've got the full set of 1993, 94, 95 X-Men and 95, 96 Spider-Man trading cards. And I've got a whole heap of other different ones as well, but they get to add them to my collection. They're fucking really nice, beautiful set. I think the 93 set, every card is foil.
Oh, nice.
And it's gorgeous. They're like Taro size, size cards. They're gorgeous. And it's $25 for both sets.
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Fucking bargain. That's what Collecticon's about.
Yeah, so I mean, in summary, Collecticon, it was awesome to have it in Newcastle. It was awesome to see so many people there. It was awesome to see all the stalls as a whole.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, I just think next year it's going to be interesting to see what the organisers take on board, because it's definitely first time, lessons learnt. Let's apply them and come back bigger next year. Well, I can't wait.
All right. On to, well, look, let's just press, because this refers to most of the things. So, comics. Yes. So comics. Most of this is comic related.
Pretty much.
Let's start off with the doom in the room.
The doom in the room.
New mask, new task.
New mask, new task. So when I first seen this, it was all giddy and all yes, and like fucking so keen. Now that it's settled in, I'm not as excited.
Well, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about and living under a rock, Robert Downey Jr. in a fantastic reveal.
Yeah, I will give him that. The reveal's fucking on point.
Is coming back as Victor Von Doom in. Well, actually, no, he's not. They never said Victor Von Doom.
No, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
So he's coming back as Victor Von Doom in Avengers
Doomsday.
4, 5, and 6.
Yep. Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yep.
So for those who don't know comic books, Iron Man has been Doctor Doom in comic books before. He's been Victor Von Doom in comic books before. Tony Stark has been Doom.
Sure.
He's been the Superior, I think it was Superior Doom or something like that. And I think it was around the same time that he had Superior Spider-Man where Doc Ock became Spider-Man, all that kind of stuff. So he had the silver Iron Man suit with the cape and stuff.
And just quickly, if you haven't read that Spider-Man where Doc Ock becomes that, it is fucking fantastic.
Well, that's
Go
what
and read that
what
comic.
leads into Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And,
Go read.
yeah, it's
Amazing.
fantastic. But yeah, I'm all for it, man. I think it's cool. I think it's fantastic. It's given us some funny memes as well.
Oh, 100%. I can't wait to get into those.
Him dressed as from Tropic Thunder in his blackface.
Yeah, I seen
he's also coming back to play T'Challa.
Yeah, coming back to play T'Challa. And there was one where he's coming back. Oh, I'm going to have to find it now. You keep talking for a bit while I quickly find
Was it the one where he's in drag from Sherlock Holmes and he's coming back to play one of the female characters?
Yeah, he's coming back to play Storm. That was pretty funny when I seen that. Yeah, I mean, they're running absolutely rampant as to what he is going to come back. I mean, as I said, when I seen it, super excited, super keen. Once it's settled in, I'm not as sure anymore. I'm very interested to see how it comes across and what he does. I'm nervous that it is going to be the same acting, same character portrayal as it was for Tony Stark and Iron Man. It's just Victor Von Doom.
I don't think it will.
The
dude can act, and Iron Man was just him. 100% Iron Man was just him being him. So all he has to do is go acting switch, turn on, and he's a different person.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hopeful of, that it does bring something new.
Because I mean, you look at Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is a very similar character to Tony Stark, but it's so different. The other thing about these movies also is the fact that we got the brothers back, the Russos.
Yeah, that's
They're coming back for both Avengers. They said they were done, but the script, the idea that was presented to them, all that kind of stuff, they felt that they could do something big with it. So they're coming back. So we get Avengers Doomsday is in 2 years from now.
Yeah, start recording Q2 2025.
Yeah.
Start filming, sorry.
And then Secret Wars obviously will probably be like another 2-3 years after that. I imagine, unless they're going to film it all at the same time, which they probably will.
So yeah, that one I was looking at was 2024 RDJ returns to the MCU as Doctor Doom, 2044 RDJ returns to the MCU as Black Panther, and 2064 RDJ returns to the MCU as Professor X.
Nice. On other news from Comic-Con, Fantastic Four.
Yes.
We got some information. We got our title. So it is officially called Fantastic Four First Steps. And will be released on the 25th of July, 2025. So pretty much a year from now.
Pretty much a year. So
they just started filming it.
Yeah, just started filming. So awesome. I mean, I know that they were there and had a bit of a chat in front of a panel and whatnot.
They tried to trick us that they weren't there, and then they came out.
They weren't tricking anybody. Yeah, like that's some awesome news. Like it's not really big news. I know that they had the car kicking around the hall.
That's pretty cool.
That looked pretty sweet.
I liked it that they didn't go the original design because the original design appears in Deadpool.
Yes.
In one of the cars in the Nether Zone's place.
Look, I mean, yep, sweet. We've got the name. They've started filming, so no doubt we'll get a bunch of set photos released over the next several weeks as people get their little pigeonholes and get the photos of what's going on just to see what it's in. The next thing I'm keen to see is them in their full get up and whatnot. I think that's going to be pretty cool.
It's going to be interesting to see what they go with the costume designs. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be pretty OG designs, which will be cool, like the full body sort of thing.
Especially because it's based in the 50s, 50s or 60s, whatever it was. So it'll be old school, but it'll just sit in that vein of the 50s and 60s. So it's going to be interesting.
We also got some comic book news. So one of the comic book pieces of comic book is the TVA is under new management. Just announced by Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige. The Marvel Comics Editor-in-Chief, CB Kowalski at Marvel San Diego Comic-Con. TVA will be a 5-issue limited comic book series written by Marvel Studios' Loki writer and drawn by Pierre Perez. The series launching in December will be an evolution of the Marvel Comics version of the TVA and mark the comics debut of various MCU characters, including Loki star Miss Minutes. Okay. A brand new universe, Displaced Heroes, includes Ghost Spider. Captain Carter will be recruited by the agency and charged with monitoring and regulating all realities and timelines.
You're right. Okay.
Which will be pretty cool. And we also, if you go on YouTube, I'm sure it'll be on there. Marvel Studios teased Galactus with drones.
Yes.
They had a big drone show out the front. They had a giant Galactus come up over the top of the fucking Comic-Con Center.
Yep, that was pretty sweet.
Which is pretty cool. some other stuff that came out of. We'll stay on comic books. Venom War is coming out.
So fucking cool.
So a trailer dropped for it, so you can go on YouTube and check it out. It's like a little motion comic thing, and it's kind of portrayed as like a wrestling match. In the trailer, and essentially it's Venom, Eddie Brock Venom, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, Eddie Brock Venom versus Carnage. It was Eddie Brock Venom versus his son
Dylan
Brock, and then Spider-Man in like an alien symbiote as well.
Yeah, there was
comes in right at the end of the trailer.
There were other symbiotes and
like it was a
whatnot
massive big symbiote war.
Yes,
but then Spider-Man comes in and like made like that's the big challenge. The three there, like it had like. This symbiote versus this symbiote versus this symbiote, Carnage versus everyone.
Yeah, that was funny. And yeah, it looks like it's going to draw on a whole lot of comic cameos and whatnot through the whole thing. I mean, there was a whole lot of them that were there. I mean, I seen Wolverine, Deadpool, She-Hulk, Spidey was there in a couple of different formats. But I mean, double the Brock on the pages. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, the Brock! I haven't seen Eddie Brock's costume in it. I've never seen that version of Venom before. It was like a big fuck. Oh, it was his son. His son had like the big fucking. Looks like a mechanized Venom looking thing.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I haven't watched it again. I've never seen that version of it before, which it looked fucking cool.
Yeah. Either way, the whole thing looks awesome. It comes out August the 7th with issue number 1, and it'll run for however many issues they're going to run it for. But no, I'm keen to have a read of that one.
Good.
Looks
the
awesome.
trailer popped up and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, looks awesome.
I'm interested in this.
Looks very, very sweet.
And then also we got Wolverine's Revenge announced.
Yes.
This looks good.
This looks good. It's also the return of Greg Capullo to Marvel.
Oh,
yeah.
hello.
So he is going to be involved in that. But it's writer Jonathan Kickman. He's done a whole bunch of stuff around X-Men, Avengers, Spidey, Fantastic Four, and whatnot. But this is the big Greg Capullo coming back to Marvel. So. Get some stuff from him, but it looks awesome. Wolverine following through some form of revenge. Hence the title.
Yep. Wolverine fucking people up.
That is pretty much what it's going to be. It looks awesome.
Because I just started reading the new volume of X-Men, so X-Men 1.
Yeah, okay.
So they've just finished the Krakoa Age, which is where have you read any of the Krakoa Age? So essentially they had this massive living island that all the mutants lived on, and they could grow portals, so they could pretty much travel anywhere in the world through these portals. And all the mutants essentially lived on this giant island.
Sure.
And
so what, like a new Genosha or something?
Kind of, yeah. And so that was all peaceful and stuff. And, Cyclops, Jean, and Wolverine had a fucking threesome going on, like a monogamy fucking like thing going on.
Right.
Living on the moon.
Fair enough, as you do.
And so I started reading that one, and it's a really good issue. So the main team now is Juggernaut. Cyclops is the leader.
Yep.
You got Juggernaut. You got Psylocke. You got another psychic I've never seen before.
Okay.
Because I have missed a few issues of the Krakoa one, so they were probably in that. And Beast, and they had to go rescue Wolverine.
Okay.
From this other group of X-Men, but they're like evil X-Men, like X-Man, not men.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And it was a good issue, and it's cool to see Juggernaut as like a X-Men now, and he's got like a big X over his helmet. And Psylocke is just a fucking badass in it, man. And she's just got her own series as well.
Okay. Sweet.
Which is pretty cool.
I think the only thing that actually threw me with this run is when they do time travel type stuff, it throws me a little bit when they take it back to prehistoric.
Well,
that's like
also,
it kind of
the big fucking issue I've found with X-Men, like I tried to read all the Krakoa Age thing. I was like volume 5, I think it is, the X-Men. There was like fucking 7 different going series going on at the same time. Right. So you had like X-Men Red, X-Men Green, X-Men Blue, fucking I think Magneto had one. You had a Hellfire Club one. Fucking, there was just so many different things going on.
And I'm assuming that to know what was happening in your arc, you had to read
it makes me not want to read it.
Sure. So rather than having arcs which run along each side and might reference every now and again, like from a cameo and hey this, and like just sort of have a little bit of an interweave. It's actually like dependent.
Yeah. So it was very frustrating. So I kind of gave up on it. So that's why I'm like, issue 1, we're starting again. I'll crack into it.
Yeah.
See if I can keep up with it. Yeah, so this one, I don't know if it's in the same universe. This Wolverine's Revenge. So it's hard to tell with those guys.
One thing I picked up as well is I'm thinking it might be 5 sort of series to it or 5 arcs to it.
Okay.
The reason I said that is there's like one of the piece in the theatrical trailer where he gets his claws out and goes through 5 different heads that are cut out of like a little magazine.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be 5.
So Kill Bill-esque.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So one arc will just draw on a bunch of stuff, but the big the resolution will be that character. The next one and sort of just see how that plays out.
I feel like Wolverine is always on some form of revenge hunt.
Oh mate, that's what he has for breakfast.
Yeah.
What's on the menu today? Revenge.
Speaking of Wolverine, some of the things I learnt about Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoilers if you haven't listened to last week's episode or watched the movie yet. The Welsh Deadpool is Paul Mullen, the soccer player who plays for Wrexham. And one of the Deadpools was Tom Holland's brother.
No, not one of the Deadpools, one of the stunt actors.
Oh yeah, but he played one of the pools.
Oh, so he actually played.
Yeah, so he played one of the pools.
Right, so I misread that. I knew that he was in it, but I thought it was just as a stunt actor.
I mean, obviously they have 100 pools there, so most of them are stunt actors. Yeah. But yeah, so one of them was Tom Holland's son. Yeah, brother. And Ryan Reynolds didn't know.
Yeah, he found out like yesterday or something,
which I just thought fucking was hilarious. And the other thing I learned as well was when he wrote the script, he had like a prayer in his head for that end scene.
Oh, really?
But hadn't got the rights for it. Yeah. And he didn't find out until after they'd shot it that apparently Madonna doesn't give the rights out for that song.
Right.
So it's like nearly impossible to get the rights for that song for a movie. And they spoke to like Madonna's people and stuff like that. And they ended up having to go to Madonna's house, meet with Madonna, show her the footage, and then she would give the permission, yes or no, kind of thing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so obviously they got it, and it's a fantastic song for that bit. And apparently she even gave a bit of advice going, "Oh, when this part of the song hits, this should happen then." And he's like, "Yes, yes, goddess.
You're giving the song,
yes,
done.
Goddess." And the other thing I saw for Deadpool and Wolverine was, you all need to go online and look at this as well. It's the director showing Hugh Jackman.
I was about to say this, you bastard. It was so wholesome.
I love just his face and him. He's being quiet because he's on the plane as well. And it's just watching his face and the pure joy in his face when it's happening.
Just loving what you've been a part of and watching it all come together and seeing it for the first time and watching that reaction. It was so wholesome.
And like most actors are like, I haven't watched my movie. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But just that look on his face it was everything.
Go and look it up. I'll take a little screen grab and we'll put it up on the social medias. But it was so wholesome. Did you see that apparently there was a name change around it as well?
No.
Around the movie. So originally he was going to call it Deadpool and Friend, but the name leaked. Everyone's like, what the fuck is this? So we changed the name, because there was an early leak. Hence the change to Deadpool and Wolverine. We could keep going, to be honest. Pretty good to see that they got the Guinness World Record. That was pretty sweet for the trailer.
Yep.
Most in a 24-hour period.
Yeah, most in a 24-hour period.
That was awesome.
All right, so more Comic-Con news. Harley Quinn Season 5 has been announced for November, which is fantastic because I fucking love that cartoon. It is so good. John Kinnaman will appear as Rick Flag Jr. in Peacemaker Season 2.
Yes, I did see that. That's awesome.
Which is fucking awesome. And the little picture I've got here actually has the slate, which means obviously it's being filmed or whatnot.
Cool. One of the things that I found out, because I know that you were quite annoyed with the trailer and the final trailer, and how it shown Daphne Keane as X-23.
X-23, yep.
Yeah, so Kevin Feige's come out and actually said why he spoiled that or why they released it and whatnot. It was because
she was at the premiere?
She was coming to the premiere, or originally she wasn't going to or something like that, but she really wanted to come so that she could come.
When I saw the premiere photos and I saw a photo of Hugh Jackman and her together, I'm like, that's why they put it in the trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny to see. Like when I say that, I'm like,
It's so weird because the photos I've seen as well, it's the photo of her and Hugh together there and the photo of her and Hugh together at the Logan premiere.
Yeah.
And just, she's a little kid.
Yeah.
And then she's not a little kid anymore.
you're not wrong.
And you're like, that's just weird.
Yep.
This is weird. And God, I hope they keep her on because
It'd
she's
be awesome if they do.
fantastic actor. And I really, really want to see an X23 TV series like we mentioned.
so good.
It would be phenomenal. Other news, The Boys, Jensen Ackles and Aya Cash, who is Stormfront from in The Boys, are starring in a lurid prequel set in the 1950s about a humble beginnings of the monstrous corporation of Vought.
Yes.
Which will be very interesting. I'm very interested in a prequel series for
I
Vought.
think it'd be awesome. I mean, they've like Gen V did so well, so it makes sense to do something else. The Boys is wrapping up after the next season, so I mean, they got to keep peddling it somehow, and that is a fucking awesome way to do it. I think it'd be sweet as.
Because I mean, the Boys has veered from the comic pretty substantially.
yeah.
So, and they've proved that they can do content, even though there's fucking haters out there, and you can all fuck off because it's a great season, which we'll probably talk about maybe next week. The Boys season, because you haven't finished.
no, I watched the last episode now, so yeah, we'll do it next week.
Did you see the part? So yeah, that's good. And there was another piece of Boys news that I got as well, but I can't remember where it was.
I remembered seeing two pieces.
Yeah,
of
there's
Boys news.
another thing they announced. I can't remember what it was though, but I'm sure I'll find it. Sailor Moon. For those Sailor Moon fans out there, get ready, Sailor Moon fans. The brand new official trailer for Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Cosmos, the movie, is out. It is coming to Netflix on the 22nd of August. It's like the final Sailor Moon kind of thing, and the trailer looks fucking epic.
I haven't seen the trailer.
It looks great. It's I mean, if you haven't kept up with Sailor Moon, because they have a new series that came out after the old school one, where apparently in Western culture you're not allowed to have lesbians and stuff like that. So they changed the gender of one of the Sailor Moons and things. Yeah, if you go and watch like the comparisons between the English translation and the original, in the original, two of the Sailor Moons were gay.
Sure.
And when it came to Western culture, they're like, no, that's not allowed. So they changed one of them to be a boy when they're not guardians, and when they transform, he becomes a girl. So that when they're out of guardians and they're kissing and holding hands and stuff, they're straight.
Right.
And also there was another funny scene where Sailor Moon gets shit-faced in one episode. And they changed it to she gets poisoned and goes ditzy and stuff.
I have not watched that show in so fucking long.
Because
I was never really.
They're meant to be like 15,
it,
so a 15-year-old getting drunk is not great for Western culture. So I understand that one.
I mean, it's standard in Western culture.
Yeah.
I found the other Boys news. The Boys Mexico is in early
that was what it was.
development.
Yeah, Mexico.
Yeah.
That's so. And from what I've read, I remember now what I read. It was going to be like a Narcos style. Show but with superpowers.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Was the kind of the thing I read, but whether that's just people making shit up because it's Mexican. But
I'll watch the shit out of that. While we're talking about all this shit, I might as well rattle off a couple more. Miles Teller, Channing Tatum, Josh Hartnett, and Alden Ehrenreich are reportedly on the shortlist to play Hal Jordan.
Yep, I saw that.
All of which will be sweet.
Yep.
This was a funny one for the boys. Anthony Starr says, almond milk went straight into my eye during that one sequence in The Boys Season 4. Invincible Season 4 was announced at SDCC, so that's pretty sweet. And he's got a new suit, which is awesome.
Yep. So if you've read the comics, you would kind of know what's about to happen.
Yep.
But I'm very interested because in the comics,
I haven't read the comics.
Have you seen? It's not going to ruin anything. Oh, it kind of does.
I'm up to date with the show.
Deal with it. It's been out for a long time.
Mm-hmm. The show hasn't.
The female. What are they called? What are the aliens called? I can't remember. It's been so long. It starts with V. I wanted to say
There's
Vought.
a lot of aliens.
Viltrumites.
Viltrumites.
That's it. The female Viltrumite that comes in the last season and helps him with the boat monster thing.
Yep.
In the comic, she rapes him.
Right.
Like full on because she wants to get pregnant because they discover from the dad it creates a super thing. So she's like, I want to have a superior child and I want it to be with you. And he's like, no, know, and she essentially beats the shit out of him and fucks him.
Wow, that's a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. So I'm very interested about how they do that in the series.
I think they just won't do it.
Oh no, I think they will because they haven't shied away from anything else.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's been pretty true to the comic so far.
Okay. Well, on a
And
lighter
there's some fucked up things that happen in the rest of that series.
right. Well, watch this space, eh?
Yeah.
On a lighter note, the Goonies TV series is on its way. It is expected in 2025.
Wow. Okay. Was that Comic-Con news? Was it?
No, it's just I'm just rattling off shit that I had now. It's Disney, so sure, Comic-Con. This was Comic-Con, or well, at least it was related to it. Kevin Feige reveals a new Marvel special in the works. So it's similar to Werewolf by Night, and there's multiple currently in development.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I really liked Werewolf by Night. I really want it was nice to have that kind of TV-esque style movie and just one and done.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It was really nice. It was a good story. It was fun. I enjoyed that.
And the last thing I'll say for SDCC was we got our DC logo.
Oh, yes. And what a surprise. It's the DC logo.
Yeah. I don't know why that was such a big announcement.
I know,
they could have just... And
it's because they had nothing else to say.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like even just to do it as an announcement, it's kind of like they could have just had it there and just let it be.
Yeah.
Rather than, hey, look. But anywho.
Some other news we got from Comic-Con. Street Fighter. Sony sets the release date for March 20th, 2026 for the Street Fighter film. Mm-hmm. I mentioned before, Solak gets her own series.
Yep.
Keanu Reeves won one of the comics' most prestigious honors thanks to his comic book series Berserker. Keanu Reeves is the latest recipient of the Inkpot Award, which was awarded at the Comic-Con.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. There is rumors because of Comic-Con, which I highly doubt, just with the announcement of Doomsday and Secret Wars. It'll probably be involved with Secret Wars if it does happen, is an Avengers vs. X-Men movie. But I mean, that's got like the Phoenix Force in it, and
I think they'll. Yeah. I think with the current run at the moment, I think it'd be too soon to throw that into it. Like, I have no doubt it'll happen, it's not going to happen.
It will
for
be
another
a scene in Secret Wars.
Yeah, maybe
it'd be like the girl power kind of. The female Avengers sort of scene in Endgame, how they all come together. It'll be just like a little thing like that where like the X-Men line up against the Avengers kind of thing. And it'll be like the front cover and that'll be it.
Yeah. But I can see something like that happening in the future. I just can't see it like and being a focal. But they have too much going on to load that up as well. Because if they load too much of that shit up straight on top, all in the one stuff, it's like, the fuck's going on? What are they trying to do here?
Yeah. Has Been Hotel got confirmed for a season 3 and 4 at Comic-Con. So if you haven't watched Has Been Hotel, it's a cartoon on Prime, I'm pretty sure. It's a musical cartoon, like theatrical musical kind of stuff about the devil's daughter who runs a hotel in hell.
Ooh, okay.
And it's really well drawn. It's crude. It's funny. And the music is fucking awesome. If you like show tunes, it's fantastic. If you don't like show tunes, it's still really good. So he got picked up for season 3, and it's got the chick who plays Rosa in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah.
She's one of the characters in it, and there's like some famous, like really famous theater people in it and stuff. But yeah, it's really, really good.
Well, one random thing about that character there, Rosa, like I don't know what the actor's name is, sorry, but she was in the remake of In the Heights.
Yes,
and that fucking threw me for how like just opposite those two characters were. I'm just
her actual real voice. It's hilarious,
and I'm looking at it going, does not compute.
What do we got here? So that's we got some trailers and stuff to talk about from Comic-Con, but I just got to get through some of these other fun little facts here that I've got because I've got so much of it. Metal Gear creator Hideo Kojima praises Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine and Deadpool. Seeing a muscular Hugh Jackman brought back many memories of the past quarter of a century, and it made me tear up. Even now, he is still a hero. Mia Makolva, who is, for those of you who don't know, and I didn't know this either, is a porn star. She tweeted on X, or whatever the fuck it's called these days, Just watch The Acolyte. I think I can officially say I've been in better written Star Wars movies.
Get out. Wow.
I just read that. I went, damn, that's like you've just won the burn contest right there.
Yeah, done.
Another thing I learned, this is a little tidbit. So the director from Fast and the Furious 3, so Tokyo Drift, he said when they're in Japan filming, the culture over there for laws of filming in public and all that kind of stuff are a lot more stricter than everywhere else.
Sure.
So they couldn't actually get permits to shoot certain things.
Okay.
So they just went full guerrilla style and just filmed them anyway. And he said when he was there, he got introduced to this guy who he didn't know who he really was, but they told him like, this guy's going to be with you the whole time. Just let him be with you, right? And they'll go around filming and stuff. And apparently on one of the scenes, they're filming at Shibuya Crossing, which for those of you who don't know is the busiest place in Japan. It's that big crossing you see in all the movies where it's like everyone crossing everywhere. They're filming a scene there illegally, and the cops came to break it up. And they went like, who's the director? And he went to say me. And this other guy's popped up and gone, oh no, I'm the director. And they took him away and put him in jail for the night.
Right.
And it turns out his job was solely to be the fall guy for the director. So if he got arrested, he would go to jail and the director wouldn't, so they could keep making the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And yeah, he said he went to jail for the night and I'm forever grateful.
That is wild.
And that's, what have we got? I've got a couple more that can wait. I read a nice little thing. This is just on a random Facebook thing that came up. You know something, sometimes the Halo community really makes me lose faith in humanity. We had something that everyone had been asking for years, a live adaptation of our beloved franchise, and all everyone did was complain. It was well written, elaborate story that was only just getting started. Season 3 would have really catapulted it into the forefront of modern entertainment without a doubt. But no, we just had to have a cry online about it until it got cancelled. This was the best portrayal of Master Chief we could have hoped for. He was relatable and human. What a kick-ass character. Cut short. Such a shame. I 100% agree with this post. It was via an Ollie Reed on Facebook.
So I'm going to say that you have created an account called Ollie Reed. You've written down your own stuff.
Mine wouldn't have been so polite. I would have called them neckbeards out, motherfucker.
Oh, fuck.
And the other cool thing I saw online, this is the last one, I promise, and we'll get into talking to trailers. Noah Lyles, I believe his name is. He is a American runner, I believe, in the Olympics currently. And he's like a world record holder for the 100 meter or something at the moment. And for the last 2 days he's raced, every time before he races, he reaches into where his number is and pulls it out a Yu-Gi-Oh card. And the last time he pulled it out and he's like holding the camera, he's like, yeah, and like kisses it and puts it back in. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. A full-on Olympian is going, I'm a fucking nerd, motherfucker. Yeah. Now I'm going to run and beat you all.
That's just random shit.
Yeah. Phenomenal. Loved it. And yeah, the rest can wait till next week.
Cool.
So let's get on to some trailers. I suppose we can press the button. Trailers, yes. Now we got a lot of trailers from Comic-Con this week, and I'm not angry about any of them. So let's start.
That's always good.
Yeah, let's start.
I've never known of someone to be angry about a trailer.
No, it happens. It happens because trailers ruin movies.
That's fair.
You know, because they realize the movie's going to be shit, so they just tell you the entire storyline through the trailer, and you don't have to watch the movie then.
Yeah, I retract everything.
Yeah, that's right. You fucking retract it, bro. All right, Rings of Power, Season 2, baby.
We'll edit that bit out.
Sure, yes. We'll edit that out. I don't know if you can hear me winking in podcasters.
All right, Rings of Power, Season 2, coming to Prime on August 29th with 8 episodes. Same showrunners who brought us Season 1. It is pretty much the same fucking cast as Season 1. Thoughts? Fuck yes.
Oh, yeah, baby. I'm looking forward to this one.
This looks fucking epic. It looks like it's going to be sort of follow the manufacturing of the 9 rings for the humans.
That's what I got from the trailer.
Because the other bit that I got from the trailer is that the elves have theirs. I think that was where
that's
season
where it
one
ended. Yeah, the
season
elves,
one
they made
got theirs.
the three elves rings.
Yep. It seems like from a bit in the trailer that the dwarves already have their rings.
Yes, that's what I got.
Yep. Because
the dad, the king, is putting it on.
Give you a ring, he comes back and just flogs his son back across the room. So it looks like the dwarves have got their rings. The elves have got theirs. They're going to build the 9 within this season. There's going to be a struggle as to do we use the rings, do we not use the rings, like within the elven kind, and I think that's going to cause rifts left, right, and fucking center.
Yeah, because he's saying don't put the ring on, and she like slides it on.
But it's sort of calling to me. I think it's guiding me somewhere. Of course, it's fucking guiding you somewhere. It was made by Sauron.
She's turning into Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, exactly. That's how the season just culminates.
She puts the ring on, it becomes Kate Blanchett.
It'll be interesting to see whether this will just be around the 9 rings, and that's sort of where it ends. And then season 3 is kind of like
the one ring,
and sort of bringing it all to it. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they do 3 seasons.
Because I mean, we've got to have the War of the Rings at some point.
Well, will they? This is my thought.
Or no, we're getting the War of the Rings movie, aren't we?
No, we're getting War of Rohirrim, which is which is the animation.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think that they'll do 3 seasons, which will be about the rings, about Sauron more or less coming to power, et cetera, and then maybe either to finish it off, the war will either be a movie or like some big 2 or 3 part epic event type thing to finish it off, or they'll just do season 4 for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but I think it'll be maximum 4 seasons.
Well, the problem, and I've said this before, and I don't know how many people actually know this, the problem with the streaming networks is, and Netflix are very famous for this, is they release a show and they release their own private content like Stranger Things and all that kind of stuff to get subscribers.
Yep.
Once they've got those subscribers, there is no point in continuing to make that show because they're not making new money. So they have to make something else. So they'll cancel that one and then they'll make something else to get those new subscribers in because they know those other people probably aren't going to leave.
Exactly. That's why
there's no point continuing on after 2 seasons.
That's why a lot of the other subscription services that you get, like your Prime, your Paramount, your Binge, your whatever, they'll have rotating movies throughout the whole thing, and they'll actually put rental costs, buy costs, et cetera, because that is
Prime
another
has ads now.
Exactly, Prime has ads now, and to get rid of the ads, increase costs. So it's just ways for them, as you said, to continue to build their money. So I get that.
Yeah. So it's like that is the reason Halo got cancelled. That is the reason most of these quality shows we get cancelled. And America seriously just needs to follow the Brits in how they make TV shows. They go, you know what? We've made a fantastic show that went for 3 seasons.
Done.
Finish it.
Yep.
Let's finish it off. Let's do something else.
Exactly. Gone are the days where you can continually make a show and just string it out forever. Yeah. Gone are the days. Because
the problem is because everything is binged now as well.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, like How I Met Your Mother, when that show came out, you watched 22 episodes over 22 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's half a year.
Exactly.
And now you get 8 episodes in a day. And 90% of the time, I will watch that 8 episodes in a day.
You're exactly right. So it's a different format. It's all different. I think you're exactly right. I think once you get to a particular amount of seasons, you do need to finish it up rather than trying to peddle more stuff into it. I think a sweet number is anywhere between 3 and 5. I think that's pretty sweet.
I feel 5 for Rings of Power, I reckon.
5?
Yeah, because I reckon we've got our introduction to our characters, their backstory. We got the 3 rings at the end. We got introduced to Sauron. We got introduced to not Gandalf. And in this season, they're like, oh, there's a guy with Gandalf's hat. This is so Gandalf. It's not fucking Gandalf. He would lose his hat and fucking not Gandalf will get it and then become Gandalf. We all know he's Gandalf. Stop trying to trick us.
And we got the Balrog. That was sweet.
So, yeah, and it looks like the Balrog's going to be in this season as well.
So I think that'll be heavily in around the dwarves.
Yeah. So this season we're getting the dwarves getting their rings, which I feel will probably happen in the first episode. And then Sauron's getting his helmet. So you saw the helmet getting made or getting walked out with. So you get like the big crown thing. And yeah, I reckon the end of this season will have the 9 rings. And then
The Nine Rings and his suit of armor.
Yeah, and then next season will be the One Ring.
Yep.
It getting built and shit fucking like in Mordor.
I've had another thought, actually. I reckon episode 1 of season 3 will be getting the ring, and then the rest of it will be to resolve it. I think it might be 3 seasons.
Okay. Well, because you still need the creation of like Mordor, because it's kind of started happening.
I think that'll be something that's happening in the background
Because
during
it started happening in the
Yeah.
first season where like it started corrupting it out.
Yeah, so I think that'll be stuff that's just continuing in the background of season 2, and then season 3 will more or less be right. We've made the One Ring. By the way, Mordor's here and ready to fuck some shit up, and then the world will collapse from there.
Right, because I think you need that, and then I reckon season 4 would be the War of the Rings. And then season 5 would be like the destruction of the rings.
Except they didn't get destroyed.
Well, the One Ring's the only ring left in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, you've got the Nine Rings still because they turn into the Azgul or whatever they are, or the Nazgul.
That's what I mean.
But-
like all the rings go into shit kind of thing.
okay, sure.
So that would be the last season, and essentially that would lead into the mythology we know.
Because you can tell that I have so much knowledge of Lord of the Rings lore.
I know bugger all right? I know Lord of the Rings. I know The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about some of the other things that I've just read upon, like when I first read Lord of the Rings, I kind of went, oh, what are the other things? So there's a whole heap of other books.
Oh.
Like there's a whole book on fucking Aragorn and Elf Lady.
Yeah.
Whatever her name is. There's shitloads of books. So
100%. Either way, cannot wait.
yeah.
It's going to be fucking...
people bagged the first season.
awesome.
I fucking loved it.
Who bagged it?
Oh, it was pretty bagged on.
Really?
Yeah, most of the Lord of the Rings fans fucking hated it.
Oh, but
Which I don't understand.
Yeah, but that's because they're the fans.
Yeah, it's I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought she was phenomenal in it.
She was awesome.
It'll be interesting seeing her journey in how she becomes like the evil
Galadriel.
Yeah, evil Galadriel in Lord of the Rings.
Even though she's not exactly, what is she? Lady of the Lake?
Lady of something.
Yeah. Anyways.
The Doctor Who Christmas special. It wasn't really a trailer. It was kind
wasn't.
of like a prequel episode to the trailer, to the movie, to the show.
Yeah, it was that snippet of show that you get. I'll be very honest here. I've never watched Doctor Who. I've never really been intrigued by Doctor Who or anything.
I am 100% a Whovian. I love me some Who.
So I start.
I've got them all.
I'm
if
not
you want to watch
surprised.
them,
I think they're on Disney now.
yeah, they are on Disney. Dude, watch that shit. You don't need to watch the OG Who. Come in from when it started back up. Russell T Davis brought it back. You had
See, I wouldn't mind seeing David Tennant. I think his would be pretty sweet. But
he's fantastic, but the first season is really good, and that's what's his name? Old mate. He was in the G.I. Joe movies as well.
Yeah, okay.
He was really good. And then he left after the first season. David Tennant came in. David Tennant's run was phenomenal.
Sure.
And then Russell T Davis and David Tennant left.
All right.
Matt Smith came in, and a new showrunner, Stephen Moffat, who is a fantastic writer. He did a few seasons with that. And then Matt Smith left. Matt Smith is a fantastic doctor, and he was he gave it really good speeches with like wacky speeches, but they were really good and had really good music, stirring music behind it.
Right.
Really good companions, and Amy Pond in that one.
Okay.
And then he left, and you got Peter Capaldi, who was like the old grumpy doctor.
Right.
And he is an amazing actor. Amazing actor. And he gives one of my favorite speeches I've seen in anything. I watch it all the time on YouTube.
Right.
It's A Small Scale of War. It's a fantastic episode where these aliens are taking over, and they do. And they're in this little bunker room, and there's like the unit agents who are like the Earth Defense Force kind of thing, and then these aliens who are disguised as humans.
Right.
And they're both standing over these two boxes with a button on it. And you press the button, and it essentially destroys the other race. And they're both standing over it, and he's like, this is a small scale of war.
Right.
And then he goes on this really emotional speech to both of them about Spore, and like all it is like when people destroy each other, and all you have to do, like people realize after they've done all this shit, is all you had to do in the first place was just talk to each other and all this kind of, and it's just It's on YouTube. Watch it. It is sensational. And you just watch that and you're like, oh, that's why I watch Doctor Who. But anyway, back to this one. This one is the Christmas special, which they do every year. It comes in Australia. It's on Boxing Day. We get it. And they're always very fun episodes. They're never very serious. They're always a bit piss takey. This one has the fantastic Irish actor. I cannot remember her name. She's from what is it called? Galway Girls? Derry Girls on Netflix, which is a fucking funny series. It's like these 4 Irish girls. I think Shan's watched it. And like it's like thick Irish accents, and it's just mental show. Yep. She's in that, and she's also in Bridgerton. She was the main character in season 3 of Bridgerton. Okay. And she's a great actor. Looks like she's going to have fun in it. And Chitty, I think his name is Chitty. He's the current Doctor. He's just taken over. Last season was great. Like, really good. He was a fantastic Doctor, young vibe, very different from all the other Doctors. Jodie Whittaker's one before him, and she was a very different Doctor from Capaldi as well. Or actually between Jodie Whittaker and Chitty was David Tennant again for a couple of episodes. But yeah, it's been a fantastic season, and I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be good. Okay. If you're not a Doctor Who, guys, seriously, watch some Doctor Who. It is such a well-written show. Unfortunately, Jodie Whittaker's seasons, she was a great Doctor. She has the mantle of being the first female Doctor as well. Yep. Unfortunately, she had horrible writing.
Yeah, okay.
Her seasons just weren't strongly written, especially her first season. It was the guy who wrote Broadchurch. Sure. You never watched Broadchurch? Season 1 of that show, man. If you want to watch a Who Did It, fucking phenomenal. Like throughout that show, you watching it and you're like, this person did it. The next episode, you're like, this person did it. The next episode, you're like, this person. And then at the end of it, when they find out who did it, you're like, I never once picked that person. The fuck? Such a good.
I pointed to everybody in the show except them.
Yeah, and then they tried to do an American version, didn't work. But sure, fantastic show. But yeah, Doctor Who. Which one you want to do next?
Well, the next one on my list is Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon.
So this is based on the game from 2005 by Sega, Like a Dragon Yakuza.
For our American friends, that's Sega.
Coming to Prime October 24. Gave absolutely fucking nothing away.
Oh no, I have no idea what the show's about except that the dude has a dragon tattoo on his back.
Yep. And it's Yakuza.
Yep.
Because of the name.
It looks like it's going to be fucking intense.
It looks like it's going to be very intense.
From the little bit I read, it's essentially like a Soprano-esque
that's what I got
style show, but for Yakuza.
So I got the very much like that dark underground mob type thing just set in Japan. And it looks fucking awesome. One thing that was interesting though is they've actually done a movie already.
Oh, really?
So they've actually done a movie about this back in 2007.
A Japanese one?
It appears it didn't do too well.
Was it a Japanese one?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so the game came out in 2005. This movie came out in 2007. I thought it was interesting just to see that they had tried before.
Who's making it? Did it say? What's it coming out on?
Nah, it's coming out on Prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for director and whatnot, no idea.
Yeah, no, it looked like it caught my attention. And I mean, it was announced at Comic-Con, so
it looks interesting.
But yeah, it looks interesting. I'll give it a go. I find Yakuza very interesting. I remember watching on YouTube. There was a guy. I can't remember what channel it is, but they get like professionals of something in to review examples of it in movies and stuff that.
Yep.
But they also just get people on and ask them questions. And there was one, I watched one that was like with a samurai, not a samurai, a sumo.
Yep.
And he talks about sumo and like the differences between Western culture and Japanese culture and all that kind of stuff. Yep. And there was a dude on there who was an ex-Yakuza. Mm-hmm. And he talked about that whole lifestyle, how he got into it, what he had to do. Like he obviously never mentions things, and he's said he's been given permission to talk about it to the public and stuff like that. And he was in it for a long, long time, and like he's got the fingers missing for getting chopped off when he's done the wrong thing and stuff like that. And he talks all about how it is. He talked how he got out of it and why he got out of it. And he talked about the fact of Yakuza's very different now compared to what it was then.
Okay.
But back then when he started in Yakuza and stuff, it was protection. They were there to protect the villages and to protect the people and stuff like that. But over time, it's sort of corrupted into
what it is today.
What it is today, which is drugs and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And he talks about that change, that shift and all that kind of stuff. Because originally Yakuza that's what they were. They were protectors. They weren't gangsters or anything like back in the old days. That's what they were there for. They were there to simply protect their village.
Look, I'm not surprised whatsoever. But no, on the note of movies about Yakuza, I just remembered a random Jared Leto movie.
Oh, yes.
The Outsider.
Yes, that was good.
Give that a watch. That was a random Yakuza movie.
I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
It's not a full-on action flick or anything like that. It's much more somber, but it was an awesome watch.
And there was
Give that a look.
There was another one on Netflix called Kate, which had old love from Scott Pilgrim. And she was in that 11 Cloverfield Lane movie. She played like an assassin kind of thing in the Yakuza world, and I think she was like raised by one of them or something like that. And it just turned. It's like one of those movies
she's in Harley Quinn as well, and
she plays.
I forgot her name.
Yeah, she's married to Obi-Wan Kenobi. What's his Ewan McGregor?
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I think they met on Birds of Prey.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because he played Black Mask in it.
Yes, he did.
All right, so off of Yakuza and onto some fun cartoon action in DC Comics, or DC, what was it called? DC Movies, Creature Commandos.
This looks fun. So in December, it's coming on Max with 7 episodes. I had a bit of a look how to watch in Australia. Get a VPN. It basically told me.
No, it'll be on Binge.
Binge?
HBO's Binge. So Peacemaker was on HBO on Binge.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So I imagine it'll be on Binge.
Cool. I don't know if it'll come out at the same time.
Actually, it may not be because Harley Quinn's not on Binge, but Kite Man.
See, Kite Man's on Max, and I don't know where it was coming out on here either.
Yeah, it may not be. I don't know, but it's VPN it.
Yeah, I had a bit of a look.
Or just find one of those magical websites on the internet that has these things on it.
Had a bit of a look. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't find anything. I'll wait till it gets a bit closer and do a proper look. Anyways, we've got Steve G, we've got Maria Bakalova, we've got Anya Cholta, we've got Zoe Chow, Frank Grillo, Sean Gunn, David Arbor, Alan Tudyk, Indira Varma, and Viola Davis. Now, this one looks to be set after the events of the first season of Peacemaker, so there is a level of continuation through DC and whatnot. Peacemaker
is the only thing they're keeping. Oh, that and Blue Beetle, I think, are the only things they're keeping. I think plus Suicide Squad, like Harley Quinn.
I was going to say, I thought Suicide Squad, but I don't think they're keeping Suicide Squad just as characters. And
I think they're
do
just
something with it. Peacemaker, yes, they're keeping. Hence the reason they've got season 2 coming out. Blue Beetle, I thought that was still on the fence because
there's a Rumored Booster Gold movie.
There's a Rumored Booster Gold movie, but there was also the animation that was coming out. Which was because I know the big thing with Gunn is he wants to have that continuity of characters, whether it's video games, movies, TV show, animation, whatever. He wants that continuity. So interesting how that'll all play out. But I mean, straight off the bat from this perspective, I mean, you've got Sean Gunn playing Weasel. Yep. So, I mean, that in itself, you got Viola Davis. So that's, I mean, those two straight off the bat. As I said, follows on from the first season, or at least it's after the first season of Peacemaker. More or less, Waller is no longer able to use humans for her Task Force X or Suicide Squad. So she can now use monsters or anything that is not human. So hence the reason we have Task Force M for monsters. Or,
so original DC.
Or Creature Commandos.
Which was also
awesome.
Yeah, that's also kind of a... I'm not sure who did it first, but Marvel have the Howling Commandos. They have Nick Fury's Howling Commandos.
They go fucking tit for tat the whole way through. Like, you go back in history, it's this, that. Anyways, we could pull at that thread for a very long time. Nothing really given away. It just seems like an awesome animation style, just with some DC antics under Gunn's direction.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm there for it. I'm going to enjoy it. As long as Gunn doesn't touch my Harley Quinn cartoon or recast Margot Robbie, I'm all for it.
Look, I don't think there's going to be any recasting anytime soon, especially because, as I said, he wants that continuity.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see what happens.
Infinity Paradise Lost. So this wasn't actually announced at Comic-Con.
No.
This was announced a week before that. So for those of you who don't know, Infinity is a tabletop miniature game. It's released by Corvus Bell.
Yep.
It's an Italian company, I think, from memory. And it's... I'm not a massive fan of the game. I like the mechanics of it. It's a lot.
So for those who want to watch the game mechanics and whatnot, go and check out Ash Barker's channel, Gorilla Miniatures. I like watching this game played.
Yes.
I've watched this game played quite a lot, and it is very, very interesting to watch. I think it would be a very different game to play.
I didn't have fun playing it personally. It's too much thinking.
There's a lot.
Play.
There is so much tactics about it, and you can see that from the way that it gets played out. And I think one of the issues in playing it for me is that you can sit back and watch your opponent do a whole bunch of stuff for like 15 minutes.
Yep.
And then you get a turn. Like during their turn, you get some reactions, you get some, hey, I might do this, I might do that type of stuff. But ultimately, there is a lot of sitting and watching until it is your turn.
Yeah.
I think that would lose me a little bit.
Yeah. Now, they have the miniatures
Are incredible.
are so nice. Like I've got some of them, and some of them I bought specifically just because they were nice miniatures. Like they're good. The mech designs are fucking phenomenal. And I'm not 100% up on the storyline that they've got. I know it's kind of like there's like a pan-oceanica, or there's like different factions around the earth. And I think it's more like businesses have taken over and like they have factions and stuff. And so this CGI series essentially is, I think it's like a new recruit has come in, and it just looks like they're kind of having to go on a mission.
No idea. It just looks fun.
Yeah.
Like it just looks like a good... And
the animation, I wasn't 100% keen on. It kind of reminded me of the Final Fantasy movie. Remember the Final Fantasy Spirits Awakened or what it was? Like that came out years and years ago. It looked a lot like that, like PlayStation 3 cutscenes.
I think what we've got is not refined yet.
Yeah.
It had that feel that it wasn't finished. It was more so testing the waters and the direction, in my opinion. Like, I think it'll be much cleaner, or at least I hope it'll be much cleaner when it comes out.
In fairness to them, they are not a massive company.
Who's actually doing the... I didn't actually look into who was doing the release for the
I'm
movie
not
itself.
sure who's doing it, but I mean, Corvus Bell... They're not a huge company. Like
No,
they've just done a Kickstarter for their fantasy dungeon crawl game, Warcry.
Yep.
Well, not Warcry, Warcrow, I think it's called.
Oh, yep.
But someone's obviously given the money, or they've just put it out themselves. So it's fair enough that it may not be the best innovation. But I mean...
It still looks good though. Like from a story and from the mechs, and as you said, like I think it was a good portrayal of the mechs onto the screen.
But I mean, in saying that, all you have to do is go online and look at Astartes.
Yes.
That was done by a dude.
Yeah.
And that thing looks fucking better than anything most of those companies have done. Even like Games Workshop released a CGI movie way back in the day. It was fucking horrible.
Yep.
This Astartes just was phenomenal, and obviously Games Workshop hired him and made him remove it. It got uploaded again.
I suppose that's where the issue might be, in that Games Workshop, they
stole everyone.
they funded the movie, so they were.
Oh, they didn't fund Astartes.
No, not that, but their movie that was rubbish from before. Yeah. So they would have funded that. Because they funded that, it would have been, right, we've got $1,000. What can you do?
Yeah.
You know, and it could be this similar case
I imagine it has been.
Yeah.
And it's-
rather than a production company buying the rights to do it and sort of doing what they want to with
well, it's
an
not a big
increased
enough
budget.
IP for
There you
anyone
go.
else to really do. And I mean, in fairness to them, it could be horrible animation. If it's a good story,
Who cares?
it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
exactly.
what it comes down to. And like, good on them for having a crack.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
100%.
bag it
Until we've seen it.
until we've seen it. Yeah, even then, I'll try not to bag it. I'm sure it'll have some redeeming qualities. All right, our last trailer.
The 4:30 movie.
Yep, this is the 16th film from Kevin Smith.
There you go. So it is coming to theaters September 13th. As you said, Kevin Smith, 16th movie. He brings us stuff like the Clerks trilogy, Jay and Silent Bob, Mallrats, amongst
You can
many,
go
many
back
other
to
things.
episode, I want to say it's in the,
8 or 9 maybe, or maybe early 10s.
it'll say featuring Bevan.
Yes.
In the title. And we have a nice big conversation about Kevin Smith and our love for, or mine and Bevan's
I was
love
going to
for
say,
them.
there's a conversation between AJ
Yep.
and Bevan, and I sat and listened.
Love me some Kevin Smith, man. The dude is fantastic. He's one of my favorite directors out there, favorite writers.
Yep.
This looks fantastic.
It does. I mean,
Yeah,
You've
it's
got-
very Kevin Smith just from the trailer.
It looks very Kevin Smith from the trailer. I mean, awesome cast. You got some of your typicals. I mean, you got your Justin Long, Kate Michichi, Jason Lee. We've also got Ken Jeong. We've got Diedrich Bader, Rachel Dratch, Sam Richardson, Harley Quinn Smith, Method Man, Betty Berlin.
Pretty much everyone who's been in Kevin Smith movies.
Fucking, it just keeps going.
Yeah,
and going.
Harley Quinn plays
A character within a movie within the movie.
she's like a killer nun, like a prostitute, a nun who dresses up as a prostitute
Yeah.
to get revenge.
Oh, it was weird.
It was good, and the main character, the guy, that's Harley Quinn's boyfriend in real
Oh,
life.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah.
I couldn't pick up on who it was.
So that's their boyfriend girlfriend in real life,
Yep.
and he's
engaged?
Maybe
I think they're engaged.
might be engaged. Yeah, I know they bought a house and stuff together. But he's wanted to be an actor for a while, budded actor, and he is in Clerks 3.
I haven't actually seen it.
I think he plays one of the directors or one of the cameramen or something
Sure.
in Clerks 3.
Okay.
And I think he's made a cameo on one of the other ones. I can't remember. But yeah, he's not a bad little actor. He's good. And one of the other guys, I can't remember what his name is, one of the friends, he's been in a couple of things that I've seen, and I liked him. Justin Long's cameo at the end, it's just fucking is great. I wish Justin Long was in more shit, man. He's so good. He's in a great film called Accepted. I think it's on Prime, maybe. He doesn't get accepted into college.
Right.
So he lies to his parents and makes a fake college.
Right.
But his friend, who played by what's Superbad? 21 Jump Street. What's his name?
Yeah. This is going to shit me now.
Yep.
Yep.
It's one of his first movies anyway. He accidentally pressed send to all or something, and it sends out this fake acceptance letter to all these other people. So they start getting money from all these people for their deposit. So they hire an old mental institution and turn it into a fake college.
Yeah, right.
And it's got Blake Lively in it as well. It's a thoroughly enjoyable film,
Okay.
man. And Justin Long's great in it. And I recommend watching that. But back to Kevin Smith. Yeah, I am going to watch the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, 100%.
I cannot fucking wait.
You know, it gave me feels of, cause I really enjoyed Mallrats as one of the ones I enjoy. It gave me feel of that, where it's sort of like an everyday event, so to speak, but it's all the antics that can go along with that everyday event. So
it's that same as like a 21 and over and like all those things where it's based around some friends doing a thing and just shit happens.
yeah, exactly. And I think that has like a really, really good feel about it, a really good element to carry through. I'm looking forward to see the direction, because as I said, Mallrats was awesome. It gave me that reminiscence of the way that story happened. Pretty keen to see what.
And he's
happens in this
good.
one.
He's really good with that style of comedy where it's just shit happens and the plot's
It's far more
not big.
It comes far more off the cuff, rather than being like it's deliberate.
Yeah.
but it doesn't. It feels far more natural.
Also, I believe from watching a couple of interviews with him, I think this one is semi like biographical of a young him going to the cinema and stuff like that.
There was a couple of lines within it that I can't exactly remember, but gave me that feel where it was kind of like, oh, I go to the movies because it's what I live and breathe, or something like that.
He's bought a cinema.
Yeah.
He bought a cinema in Jersey, which is this cinema is based on, I believe.
Because it was his childhood, the childhood cinema that he
where
used to go
with his dad and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's bought that with a couple other investors who he didn't say, which I'm guessing are some of his Hollywood friends.
Sure.
And they show movies every weekend.
Yep.
And like, you can buy tickets and go and hang out with him, and they do like talks and stuff. And then he shows his movies when he gets like the actors over around, and they do Q&As with the actors and stuff. And, but yeah, I'm guessing that's where they filmed this as well. But yeah, I'm there for it. I cannot wait.
Well, you'll have to wait just a little bit longer. As I said, September 13th, it is coming to theaters.
And he's also, I believe, there is another Jay and Silent Bob in the works.
Sweet.
From memory, I believe he's doing another Jay and Silent Bob film.
The last one
which
was
will
awesome.
be good. All right. Another trailer, but this is not a TV show or a movie, this one. This is a game trailer.
So this is Marvel Rivals.
Yep. This looks fucking pimp.
So I mentioned several weeks ago about Gears of War coming out, and it will force me to buy an Xbox.
Yes.
Okay. Whichever one of this or Gears of War comes out first is going to force me to buy the fucking thing.
Well, this is coming out on PC too.
Yeah, it's coming out PC, Xbox, PS5. I'm sure it'll probably just do well on all of it. And it looks fucking awesome. Like this is the cinematic trailer.
Yeah, I mean, there's no gameplay in it, unfortunately.
I would love to see some gameplay, because if they're going to keep that similar animation style in the gameplay, that'll be so fucking
all for it.
Oh, like that alone, like it's got me hooked. If they have that in the gameplay trailer, I'm fucking reeled right in.
Rocket in it, Rocket Raccoon in it. Oh.
And what's he say? He's he says, they're gonna fluck and get me or something like that. or we're all fluck.
Who's he jumping around on in it?
The spider suit.
Oh yeah, it's what's it? Mary Parker.
Yep.
Yeah, in the spider anime
suit.
spider thing.
Yep.
And yeah, just that suit as well, that mech suit.
It looks awesome.
Oh, it looks so good. Like the part where like she jumps off with it open and like closes up, and it's like very Gundam reminiscent.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's more or less a Marvel multiverse movie. Game. It's a fucking
Have you seen any gameplay at all? Do you know any like what style of game it is?
This is the first thing I seen of it. I was doing my notes and my watching of stuff last night, so I have not had an opportunity to actually look further into it. But yeah,
I think I'm getting the vibe. I haven't seen anything, but I'm just from the vibe from the trailer. I think it's like a multiplayer punch each other kind of Overwatch-y style thing.
It's got that element to it. I hope that it's got an element of like a really good driving story through it as well, which would be sweet. I hope it's not just a punchy back and forth thing. That probably won't get me in as much. But in any case, like they might go down something completely different where you've got a full campaign type piece which it'll go through. I don't think it'll do that. I would love for it to do that. Either way, it looks fucking awesome.
Speaking of video games, the other day I actually got it was during Prime week for like on Amazon. Yep. They gave away Suicide Squad for free, the game.
I fucking missed that, didn't I?
Do you have a Prime account?
Shen does.
I'm pretty sure I messaged you about it.
Nah, you didn't, you bastard.
But I got it for free, and I haven't started playing it yet, or even installed it. But that just reminded me that I got that for free, and I'll have to install that and maybe do some plays games videos for it.
Well, I won't do any play games videos for it because I didn't get it.
Also, a couple other games I got like Alex the Kid for free. There was another Baldur's Gate on there for free.
Oh, yep.
I think that one's still on there.
I think you messaged me about Baldur's Gate, not Suicide Squad.
Well, I think because Brendan messaged me about Suicide Squad.
Sure.
And I was like, because I didn't even know this fucking Amazon gaming part existed.
Yeah, neither did I.
And he messaged me, he was like, oh yeah, they give away games for free all the time. I'm like,
wow. I'm going to have to check that out.
So, yeah. If you didn't know about it, now you know about it. You can thank us by sharing this podcast and getting us more and more downloads or joining our Patreon. And yeah, so it looks great. I'm going to play that game.
Yes, definitely.
The other trailer that came out. Now, I watched this trailer and I was just like, the fuck just happened? What did I just watch?
I felt exactly the same.
So this is an anime. Was it based on a manga?
It's based on a web manga.
Web manga. It is called Rooster Fighter.
We don't have a release date.
Essentially, it's in a world gone wrong. One rooster will stand up against all the villains, and essentially, it's like this giant dude, and then a giant rooster turns up and does like a kamehameha from his fucking mouth and blows the dude up. And it was just, I watched it. I'm like, I think I've just taken LSD without taking LSD.
So it comes out and he starts to like just going, and then after it does that, it sort of pauses for a little bit, and then you see it write what he says. So I'm like, hang on, what the fuck? So it doesn't look like he can talk. It looks like it's all written. It's going to be interesting to see how that comes across, because I can see that coming across really well in comic form, where it's like the noises of sort of the rooster making noises, and you can just write all in like a single panel type thing. I don't know if it'll translate. I'm going to watch it.
If I took drugs, man, I would take so many drugs and watch this anime.
I'm going to watch it. I
feel like we're on drugs.
Don't think it's gonna do well. In all honesty, I think it's gonna.
I've watched some fucking weird animes that have been hugely successful.
Yeah, but but at least
you got to remember, we don't make our culture, like Western culture, does not make anime successful.
True.
We just get the joy of watching them.
True. Look, it's just fucking.
Yeah, seriously,
you've got to watch it.
There's
to
so
understand.
much. Like, we cannot explain to you this trailer. You need to go either to the website. We'll put the trailer there, or just go online and what was it called?
Rooster Fighter. Rooster Fighter.
Go to YouTube and look for Rooster Fighter.
And the tagline at the end: "One cock to save the world." It's just like. Fucking hell.
Oh, fuck me. It was just,
When you sent it and I first clicked on, I'm like, I clicked on the right thing, because it looks fucking cheap when it first comes up. It looks cheap, nasty. Someone's just put some writing on a black background. You're like, oh, okay. And then the animation is fucking awesome.
It's very, it reminds me of One Punch Man.
Oh, yep.
It's some over the top fucking shit, man. It's out there. It's weird, and I'm 100% in for it.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'll give it a watch. I think it'll be very interesting. I think that after a couple of episodes, it will lose that thing that drew you in.
Yeah.
And that
it's not like I'm going to be watching 50 episodes of this.
No. I think. But
it's saying that One Punch Man, it's a dude who literally one punches things. That's a hugely successful show.
No, that's one of the most successful at the moment, isn't it? I've never actually watched it.
I've watched it, and it's literally a monster goes, oh, and punches him, and then he goes,
right,
and wins.
Cool.
And yet it's super. I
seen one like a reel, which must have been like I just made the assumption it was a big bad, and like the build up within this reel, it looked awesome. What was happening? Yeah. But it sounds like it might just be what happens all the time.
In fairness, I've only watched one episode.
Okay.
So I judging a book by its cover.
Sure.
It must be good, because it's very successful. All right. Well, that is pretty much our coverage of San Diego Comic-Con. Next week, we will have our coverage of Gen Con.
Yes.
Will not be as big as this.
I think we'll be just as excited from everything that comes through from it. I'm pretty keen to dive into what's going on. I think it'll actually be easier for us to get the information from it as well.
Because
I found that from San Diego Comic-Con, like one piece of information would flood through,
Yes.
which would just cancel
Like,
out.
otherwise, RDJ.
Exactly.
I had to look for comic information and all that kind of stuff.
So I spent a little bit of time. Like I did a bit of a search.
One other bit of news on that note, of getting flooded over. I found out Lower Deck's finishing with its 5th season. Do you watch Star Trek Lower Deck?
I haven't watched it.
So
that's the animation, isn't it?
Yeah, it stars Old Mate that plays Huey in The Boys.
Quaid.
Yeah.
Jed,
Got some famous,
Jack Quaid or something.
Yeah, got some famous parents there. But he's one of the characters in it, and they actually have a crossover episode with Discovery where he goes through a portal and comes out real.
Okay.
And it's actually him actually playing the character in real life. And there's one of the girls in it as well. But yeah, they're finishing up with the last season because they Paramount pretty much said this is it.
Yeah, sure. On that note, like the Star Trek and how they started to bring out some more shows and whatnot.
Oh, fucking killing it.
I was really enjoying.
New Worlds is fantastic.
No, I haven't watched that.
It wasn't Discovery. It was New World that the crossovers.
Sure. So yeah, there was one of them that picked. It was on Netflix, I think. Star Trek Voyager.
You got Picard.
No,
which was on Prime. Then you have Discovery, which is like a prequel series.
Yep.
And then New Worlds is a spin-off of Discovery, and Lower Deck, and then there's also another cartoon that came out with like monsters or something in it, which I don't know anything about.
Okay, the one where you've got the main character is Michael, who is Spock's sister.
The black chick?
Yes.
That's Discovery.
That's Discovery. Yes. So I watched Discovery. I got hooked into that. I thought that was fucking awesome. But then I think they picked up on the success of that and just went, right, here's a bunch of other Star Trek shows.
Yes.
And when that happened, that overwhelmed me and I went to other things.
Well, Discovery's still going, I believe.
I think they're up to like season 4.
Yeah.
Season 5 maybe.
Or Brave New World, I think it's called, is on...
No. That's... Captain America.
Oh yeah, New World or whatever it's called. You're a Star Trek fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's on.
Let us know in the comments.
Season 2, I think. It's thoroughly enjoyable.
Okay.
I don't know. What were we talking about?
Gen Con.
The
flooding of information.
Flooding of information. That's right. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I think, as I was saying, like we kind of get, because there is such big news and such like global news that comes out of the SDCC, you definitely get one piece of information that everyone loves and it fucking floods through, which sort of drowns out some of the other bits and pieces, so you don't get a full picture.
Yeah.
I think it'll be much easier for us to get a picture from Gen Con, so I'm pretty keen to sit down and have a chat about.
And also on Comic-Con, we're probably going to start getting the exclusives.
The footage
that was showing.
Yep.
We'll start getting them eventually as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Yeah, but Gen Con's this weekend. All the board game news, card game news, all that fun stuff. Fantasy Flight's in-flight report, which it's going to be interesting to see what they talk about this year. The bastards, if you bought a ticket for it, you get fucking an exclusive Grogu card.
Yep.
Fucking assholes. It's a very pretty card too. I want that Grogu card for Star Wars Unlimited, for those who don't know. Also, if you're a Patreon, we just made some new STLs for tokens for Star Wars Unlimited that you can download if you're a Patreon member. Speaking of Patreon members, you should become one. That was a really good segue, wasn't it? That was great.
Great segue, and then you just didn't know what to say.
No, not really. You should become a Patreon member. It's it's just not buying a cup of coffee for 1 month.
You are doing well.
This.
Let's start this one again. For those who haven't joined up already, our Patreon is open and live. You can sign up for $5 a month. That is losing out on one coffee across the month. Just one coffee for the month.
But wait, there's more. You get exclusive access to a drive which contains things that we put on there, like STLs, or we've got some 3D printable deck box, things like that. We're going to have some plans for things that we build and all that kind of stuff, and that'll be exclusively on a drive, which will be there for life, if you remember.
So right now there's a few things on there, which is awesome. Jump on there and you can have a peruse as to what's there. It will build, it will grow. There will be more and more as we continue to add stuff to it.
You'll also get early access to our current other series, which is Frantic Nerdcast Nerdcast Plays Games, which is released on Tuesdays. You get 2-week early access to those videos. Then also, eventually, once we get enough people on the Patreon, we will be doing a monthly live episode of this podcast. So what you're watching or listening to right now essentially will be the same thing, but broadcast live that you can watch and listen to and comment with us and chat with us whilst we do the podcast.
However, to do that, you'll have to be a Patreon member.
That's right. So that's really it. $5 a month, guys. Australian, come on along. It really, really would help us out. What's on your table?
A whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff?
Yep, a whole bunch of unpainted, unbuilt, unopened stuff.
I did see, you mentioned it the other week, you were doing your Dystopian Wars minis. Have you done any more work on those?
Nope.
Nope.
They're primed.
They're primed.
Still sitting on the table, unpainted.
I've personally not really been. I go through phases of I'm going to paint a fuckload of minis, and I'm just not currently in that phase.
No, I have done nothing in that regard. There is one thing that I'm putting together. But once it's done, I'll let you all know what it is. But I've only spent a couple of hours of that. That's probably the only thing on my table. A secret little bit that will come out later.
I'm waiting on having some money so that I can buy some more resin for my printer. Because One Page Rules have just released, over the last couple of months, have released their High Elf Fleet minis, which are their space elves, and I've printed one of their little tanks, which is their like hover tank thing, and I've got some hair in my mouth. Looks fantastic, and so I'm like, I might print an army for those guys for whether we play One Page Rules with them or Warpath or anything like that. But they look good.
Yeah, they'll fit in nicely.
I'm keen to give them a go. What else have we got? What else have I got? That's really about it. I haven't really been doing much. I've been watching a lot of anime lately. I've been getting back into anime, watching some of the watching Mobile Suit Gundam.
I have been watching some stuff also. I actually went back and I am currently on the last season of Attack on Titan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never actually. I think I got to season 2 of Attack on Titan. I kind of gave up on it.
See, I watched to the end of season 2, and I stopped watching at the end of season 2 because the method that I was getting said anime was no longer available.
Okay, yep.
So because that stopped, I kind of just dropped off. And then recently I was like, I can't remember if I ended up watching the rest of it or not. I jumped back in, got to season 3, started watching. I'm like, I had not continued with this, so I'm going to finish this.
The animation studio change didn't really affect you much?
You can definitely tell that there's some shifts.
Because they go hardcore into the CGI.
Yeah, 100% they do. Now, there's some of it where you're like, sweet, this looks good, this is fine. There's other bits where you kind of like, fuck. Like there's some bits where the bits that really stood out to me that were just horrible were actually some of the stuff where they didn't care about because they're simple scenes where you've got like just horses traveling across the plain. Like it just looks like you've got you're going back to Monty Python, they're banging coconuts together while they're running along. It wasn't good. But
Are you
other than
the
that,
storyline though?
the storyline's good.
Because I've watched like the complete storyline of.
So you know the storyline.
I know everything that happens.
Cool.
Yeah.
The storyline. I'm not surprised where it went.
Yep.
But the way that it got there, it just fucking happened.
I
don't think they led into it. I think they built so much in the first season as to like the Titans and what's going on and how's this all happening. Then it just goes boom, rather than introducing little bits. I just felt like that. It might have been because I jumped in at season 3 again, but I don't know.
I like the concept of why it was, why the walls were built and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
It's hard to say without spoiling things. But like the over the ocean, let's just say that, and all that part of it and all that kind of thing. I like all that stuff. And it was a very interesting storyline.
Oh, look, for how long it's been out, I'm just going to spoil some of it anyways for where I'm up to. But I'm up to season 4, the start of it anyway.
Season 5's last season?
Season 4 is.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I'm in, oh, wait, is it? I'm not sure.
I thought season 5 was the final. The final season.
You could be right. Yeah. Either way, where I'm up to, I might be at the end of season 3 then. Eren Yeager, he's just made it to Over the Ocean.
Okay, yep.
And like he's a little bit older and whatnot. And like as soon as like the character came into it, I'm kind of like, that's Mr. Yeager. Like you can kind of tell straight. But they introduce him as like an old vagrant who's gone into like a military hospital or something like that. And I'm unsure about what happened next.
Okay.
Like as to how I feel about it, because I just didn't. I'm not surprised how it happened, but I'm still processing it because I've only watched it the last few days. More or less, he fucks up the people over the ocean. Like he turns into the Titan in the middle of the place and just kills a whole bunch of innocent people. And you kind of like, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, just you wait.
I didn't expect that to happen.
You wait.
Like they tried to build it into a way of like explaining, well, you did this to us, now we're sort of doing it to you and whatnot. But it's kind of like they had the element of they were the guys who were being attacked first. So why has Eren Yeager sort of done the same thing? And he admits, I'm doing the same thing to you that you did to me. So fuck you. And he just does it. And you're kind of like, fuck.
It's a good storyline. I just kind of lost interest in watching it. And I think a lot of that was around the hype around it when it came out. There's a lot of hype around it when I started watching it. And I just kind of went,
Sure. I think the benefit I have as well is that all the hype's gone.
Yeah, well and truly gone. Yeah.
So because all the hype's gone, I can just sort of watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely going through mixed emotions with the whole thing, and I think that's for me absorbing the show. It's a good thing to be going through the mixed emotions because they've done something which I wasn't expecting. So it's like that's the idea of a show, to invoke emotion, like to get that feel from it. So I like what it's doing, and I'm also hating what it's doing. So it's like,
fair enough.
It's done its fucking job well.
No, I've been watching, like I said, I've been watching Gundam. I just started watching G Gundam, which is like it's an alternate Earth where instead of going to war, every year each country submits a Gundam into like this battle.
Oh, yep.
And there's like fucking weird Gundam. Like Holland has this Gundam with a fucking windmill on the front of it and shit.
Yeah, right.
It's fucking out there, man. It's just it's weird. It's like the weirdest Gundam has ever gone.
Sure.
And it's entertaining as hell. Because most of the time Gundam is very much anti-war kind of thing, like the tragedies of war kind of thing. And this has kind of taken that premise and just added fun to it.
Yeah, okay.
So it's good. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's an old one. That's like 90s. But yeah, it's good fun. And I've just been cracking into those because fuck, there are some good Gundam like Iron-Blooded Orphans.
We're about to get a new Gundam movie,
CGI series. Yeah, it's called Frontier, I believe.
We're about to get some footage from it, or about to get a trailer or something.
I think we're about to get a trailer.
Yeah.
It's coming out on Netflix. I've got it here somewhere. That's Sailor Moon, Harley Quinn. It is called the Gundam Requiem.
Yeah, okay.
Requiem for a Vengeance. It's set to premiere worldwide on Netflix October 17th.
Okay, so it's not even far away.
It's based in the Universal Century. Which is where like the original Gundam and all that kind of stuff. That's where most of the content's based.
Sure.
Because they have like alternate universe stuff. Like you got that, and then you got like Cosmic Error and like Gundam Seeds based in one.
Everything's got the fucking multiverse.
But this is just because people wanted to make stuff but not be tied to the canon of one universe. So they're like, okay, we're just going to make something else kind of thing. And most of them are based on animes.
There you go.
On mangas.
Yep.
So yeah. All right. Well, I think we've been talking for long enough.
We have.
Thank you very much for listening to us ramble on about comics and movies and TV shows and trailers and whatnot.
And all the fun stuff.
Again, Frantic Nerdcast plays games. We got new episodes coming out every Tuesday.
Yep.
Patreon's up there. Thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate you listening to us. I am AJ.
And I'm Brock.
Bye. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever all good podcasts are listened to. On YouTube, you can check out the latest episodes just after the podcast is uploaded.
Follow along the journey on our Facebook and Instagram. You follow me, Frantic Brock, on Instagram, and you can follow AJ, Weird Art by AJ.
See ya.